from Francis Xavier 5084, we have, Sir, why IGBT? Why can't we run the compressors without it? It's basically a comment talking about the difference in terminology. So like a DC, as in a DC driven motor. There are direct current driven motors, but there are also digitally commutated motors. And in our case, we are digitally commutated, and that's where that DC is broken down there. There are many, many technical reasons as to how all of these things are very different. But generally speaking, when we're talking about these types of motors and talking about them being DC motors, we're talking about them being digitally commutated. They are not DC motors.
Yeah, so the terminology in the comment was, since it's still a BLDC, meaning a brushless direct current motor, then why do we need to, why use the IGBTs and all that? It's a different motor. He's not understanding what we're saying there. Okay. These motors that are used in here are essentially AC motors. And the inverter driver is taking single phase power and converting it to DC and then creating its own three-phase sine wave through the IGBTs. By using those switches and gates to be able to control the flow of electricity through the windings, we are actually creating our own three-phase sine wave.
Right.
It's not the same kind of motor that he's thinking it is. So,
right. But even with the BLDC motor, if you grab another brand, they'll advertise that they use the BLDC motor on their wall mount, for example. It's got 5 wires on it. It is still a digitally commutated motor. I mean, yes, you're sending DC voltage to that motor, but open up that case and what you've got is an inverter board in there. You've got your IGBTs or whatever, and so you've got a signal wire and all that, but you're sending the DC voltage, you're creating that at the board, and then sending DC voltage where it then creates a 3-phase sine wave and then runs the motor itself.
The variable speed blower motor, same way. When you take that variable speed motor out of a gas furnace or whatever, and you take that end bell off the end of it, you got them 3 wires going to the motor. That's your 3-phase motor, but in that module is where you're going to find basically your inverter driver.
Now, the motor itself can be direct current rated, as in it has thicker insulation material on the windings, because DC travels better than AC voltage does. If you've ever touched a doorknob or you've been outside in a storm, it has the tendency to want to jump, so you're going to have thicker, insulation on the windings, that kind of thing. So they're DC rated, they're DC direct current qualified motors, but we are providing AC voltage as an AC sine wave.